In Huawei's case against Swedish PTS ban, do you think geopolitics and maybe the ideological conflicts are prominently featured?
I believe so. I believe if the US hadn't gone so full out about making Huawei a threat, that countries like Sweden would not have responded in the way that they're doing, seeing Huawei as a threat. I think behind the scenes there could be a lot of influences. I think that the Americans probably are putting pressure on Sweden and other countries as well. I think there's a lot of politics happening in the background. Because for many years we've never seen this before about any manufacturer. There's never been a worry, and where does the trust stop? I mean, right now in our computers right now we're using chips which are all made in China. But do we stop trusting our laptops? Do we stop trusting our mobile phones because the chips were made in China? What's the difference with the mobile network equipment? Again, just because it's made in China, where do we stop with the fear and the worries again? And what is a threat model? What really will the Chinese government get out of this again? It just doesn't scale. It just doesn't make, it just doesn't really play out the way it should. So I just don't see it. I just don't agree with the reasons for anyone's. No one can convince me that that the threat is as real as they say it is.
Do you think that Europe's 5G ecosystem of competition will be compromised due to the restriction on Huawei?
Yeah, I believe the end users will lose out. Huawei are one of the leaders in 5G. They've contributed the most patents. They've been involved in the standard from the start. They have the most advanced technology. So therefore, any network which rolls out now will have less competition and less choice for the mobile network operators again. So it just reduces what can be done. And of course, there's countries which already had selected Huawei, like in the UK, and then the government have more or less forced them to take out this equipment. So it puts them on the back foot. It delays the rollout of 5G inevitably in any of the countries which are restricting Huawei. In other words, that we're just not going to have maybe a first-class mobile network as quickly as we hoped.
As you mentioned, UK has decided to remove Huawei kits from its 5G network. Does that mean Huawei is gradually losing the UK market?
Seems that way. It must be a worry for Huawei because the UK is a large area. Again, it's a big market for them. They were number one really in the race to lay out the equipment. So now they've obviously got to really, even if they can get into parts of the network again, the non-core parts again, that still is a big loss for Huawei again. So again, it must be a worry for Huawei.
Do you agree that Europe's 5G rollout is seriously delayed because of their ill-prepared spectrum distribution?
Yes, but a lot of countries actually have problems in that space again. Well, the spectrum is limited, and again, it depends on the frequencies which are rolled out. But again, that was always a problem with 5G, given the different spectrums, the different standards really, and the adoptions from some countries. It wasn't as universal as 4G and 3G as such, even though we've had different standards with regards to Europe and Asia and the United States with 3G, 4G. But generally, the phones had multiple, antenna built into them. But there is some fragmentation with regards to 5G. But generally, that should be sorted out with the devices which are being rolled out right now.